My name is Tiffany Campbell. I'm senior producer at SeattleTimes.com. I've been there for about 6 years. Before that, I worked at CNN and broadcast for several years after I got out of college.
So you should just treat your system like everything else we're kind of talking about. It should just really be based on your goals. Are you trying to pump out a lot of video? Are you trying to do really high-end work? Do you want to buy something that can do everything? Or are you just starting really specifically and you just want kind of the basics?
It's the expression, not the facts themselves that are protected. And that, of course, leads to databases, companies that are in the database business, for example, classified listing services. Classified listings, because they are largely factual information, have very thin copyright protection. They're protected under copyright law. They talk about protection based on the selection, coordination, and arrangement.
If I have 50 link farms linking back to KwanBooth.com, that's really not going to pay attention. Google's really not going to pay attention to that. If I have the Hawaii Post, the Oakland Tribune, New York Times linking back to KwanBooth.com, those are quality links, and those are quality links because they've been verified by Google beforehand. The title is short and sweet, about 64 to 120 characters. The paragraphs may be descriptive, a few sentences.
Another good opportunity now for local sites is group buying. If anybody's following Groupon or Living Social or Buy With Me, any of these sites, they're doing this, and this is the rage right now.
Because they made, I think, a bet that said, oh yeah, pay models won't work. We're going to take your Tom Friedman away. We're going to take your Maureen Dowd away. We're going to take your David Brooks away. Let's see how you like that. And a lot of people said, that's fine. I'll go someplace else.
Again, Minieyes is a really awesome website that is kind of a great place to start experimenting with other types of data visualizations, not just maps, tons and tons of other types of data visualizations for really standard things like charts to bubble charts to the word charts that we saw. Google Motion Charts, you might want to take a look at that. You can upload your own data and create that, the sort of the bubbles that were kind of moving over space and time. What is it?
The information is beautiful. There's a good list on Twitter that. Yeah, actually Cora has a really good one.
If anyone is interested in sharing their own story, okay, great.
Pretty decent at analytics and SEO and all that stuff. We get a pretty big following, a lot more than most of the people who were blogging on our platform. So on one level, we got the community voices in a way that hadn't really been done before in our area, and obviously in most other areas around the country. But then we took that influence and partnered with other media organizations, professional media.
News organizations of all kinds, large and small, everywhere from social media sites and crowdsourced sites up to mainstream, the largest sites in the world are all trying to figure out what their strategy is. It's a project that's been supported over the last basically 2.5 years by a number of foundations and also awards that we've won.
In putting together this piece, did you have much discussion on the choice of audio using his actual performance versus audio that he's listening to?
Yeah, so again, I didn't work on this particular piece, but the copyright and music usage is tricky. The loophole here is that that's the music that gets played when he's performing, so she recorded that song. At least that's my understanding. If not, it's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
This app is a freestanding app with a lot of TBD content in it. Don't get me wrong. We want people to come here and spend time here and take a look at that great Toyota ad we have on here, but we're also going to send you out to wherever there's news in the region if we have it or don't have it. And I think that is something, for local apps, especially to be successful, they're really going to have to put their arms around the whole community and say, trust us, we'll tell you what's going on no matter what.
Websites like Mailchimp, Vertical Response, Constant Contact, they do this at a pretty low rate, low monthly rate. Mailchimp is hands down my favorite newsletter client ever. It's free for most services. It's incredibly user-friendly. with a lot of email newsletters, the biggest thing that's keeping people from using it is the fact that they don't really know how to program a newsletter. They don't know any code. With Mailchimp, if you can send an email, you can work Mailchimp. You can design on Mailchimp. I'm Picasso on this thing, and believe me, I can't design worth anything. 3, 2, 1. Okay.